Now, this time next year, almost exactly actually, as of Saturday, Victorians are going to have the chance to vote out a Labor government drowning in debt, overseeing the worst teenage crime crisis in Australian history. It's truly appalling. It should be a no-brainer for the opposition, but with three different leaders the opposition have had in less than a year and infighting on an industrial scale, the bookies, can you believe it, and I checked it today, still have Labor in front, which would mean 16 years in Victoria of unbroken Labor rule. Now, on Sunday, Sky's National Affairs Correspondent Jonathan Lea, he's fronting a special on Victoria's crime crisis. Here's a taste of what you're going to see on Sunday.
Melbourne's CBD is safe.
1 year out from the Victorian election.
They're angry, they're scared, they're worried about the safety of their suburbs.
He was yelling about bashing me.
We don't feel safe anymore.
People are starting to think about how they defend themselves.
How will a legacy of policy failures affect the people's vote?
I've got nothing to say at all.
How bad is crime in this state if you can't talk about it?
Out of control, Victoria's crime crisis. Sunday, 7:30 p.m.
Jonathan joins us. Doesn't seem that Daniel Andrews was all that happy to see you, Jono.
Oh, good evening. Friends come and go, but enemies accumulate.
He wasn't very conversational. He didn't want to talk about it.
No, he didn't want to talk about it, and Jacinta Allen, the Premier, also didn't want to talk about whether she'd been given instructions or was consulting Dan Andrews about the new legislation which she has proposed for Victoria. Some credit perhaps needs to go to the state government for recognising there is a crime crisis and now attempting to move swiftly, but the real question here is, why has it taken the better part of 2 years? How many home invasions, carjackings, homicides and murders does the state need to see before everyone starts to realise they have to act? I feel desperately sorry for the likes of you, Steve, and those in Victoria, fathers who are out at night time patrolling their suburbs because they feel desperately unsafe. Taxi drivers telling me that they don't lock their cars anymore in their suburban suburbs because they get broken into anyway. It's easy to keep their cars unlocked. A university student who was just out getting his medicine from a chemist at about 8 o'clock at night, I think it was beaten up, punched and then had a machete, he says, swung at his throat and nearly cut his arm off. It goes on and on, people breaking into homes to steal car keys. When did it become the Australian way to have the discussion about where you leave your car keys so that the home invaders know where to take them and not attack you, your wife and your children? It's extraordinary. This conversation's been had in Queensland and it's now happening in Victoria. It's a very sad state of affairs. It's not to attack one side of politics or the other, but the opposition is equally inept here. We interviewed Brad Batten. 6 days later, he was gone and we sat down with Jess Wilson. So there's all sides of blame.
You're normally based not in Victoria, and I am, and myself and Peter, who are Victorian-based, and Andrew, we talk about this issue of crime over and over again, and I'm so happy that Sky's now gone and done a deep dive on it. When you were talking to the victims and when you were talking to the people running the state and talking to the people who in police, and I note there you talked to the former Chief Magistrate of Victoria, could you get a sense of why is it happening so bad? Why is it so bad here compared to, say, New South Wales or even Queensland?
Oh, look, my take on it and what many people seem to think is the inept bail laws. The fact that you've got people out breaking bail 40 and 50 times and reoffending, and you seem to get this escalation that when people break the rules once and they're not dealt with appropriately or they remain in the community, they continue to break those rules, they become emboldened. We've got vision after vision of people breaking in their homes or smashing their way into homes with machetes. Now, we can call them a machete, but what it is really is effectively a metre-long sword. You've got people in shopping centres having machete fights. It's outrageous. I couldn't believe how bad it was in Victoria. And people at home might be thinking, do we watch it on the weekend or not? Please sit down and watch it. Melbourne is a beautiful city. It's not my hometown, but it is a beautiful city and it will deeply shock you what is happening down there. And you need to make sure this doesn't happen in your community. This is what's important.
We just saw some vision there, Jono, of those machete bins. Huge cost, put outside police stations around metropolitan Melbourne, some in the regional Victoria. They're outside a police station with a CCTV camera aimed at them. What lunatic actually believes that some kid is going to wake up one day and go, oh, well, I did a home invasion last night. I used my machete. I might go and hand it in today. I mean, seriously?
Yeah. I might just drop it off. Look, apparently they are having some success with people handing in weapons, and if that's the case, good luck to the authorities in doing it. It's incredible that people think that it's appropriate to have them or that they can get away with having them. There's a whole discussion we need to have here, Steve, about how we discipline children. As one parent put us, this is a problem which has been coming for the better part of 20 or 30 years now. We've become exceptionally soft on crime and giving chance after chance to young children who are committing them. We need to come up with a better way to punish children and provide those rules and boundaries that the state can afford. If you're putting a child behind bars at the better part of $200,000 a year, there's a significant disincentive for a state government to be doing that because it is so expensive. We need to find a way to reach these children, to deal with their problems. It might be the fact they have broken parents, it might be the fact they don't have fathers, they've come from war-torn nations, but we need to find a way to deal with discipline that is more affordable for a state. That's not something any state government is ready to have yet.
I'm sure you were surprised. The age profile is extraordinary. We've got kids as young as 10, 11 years old with knives.
And not just with knives, killing other kids with those knives.
Unbelievable. I look forward to watching it. Jono, thank you very much for joining us tonight. Now, make sure you check out Jono's special, Out of Control, Victoria's Crime Crisis. That's at 7:30 p.m. on Sunday night, right here on Sky News Australia.